Welcome guys to yet again another video, and in this video I think this should be the last video. We are going to talk about pagination. I don't know if we'll have enough time to cover search. If we don't, we might look at that in the next video. So basically I made a correction from the last video, and that correction is pretty simple. Here to our contact, here to our pagination, here load contact, pagination default page size of 2. Alright, so before our default page size was 5, and if I go back here now, you'd see it's rendering 2. Meanwhile, we have how many data? We have 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, 6 or 7 data, 6. So our contents are supposed to be showing 3 since we are paging by 2 pages. So what I simply did to fix that was to change that to 2. So you can also do that for yourself. And now we have 3 here. So next up is we want to be able to paginate this data. And so to do that, we're going to cut across a couple of things. First off is from our contact service, we want to make this a little bit more dynamic, in the sense that from our data here, you can see we have a lot of data supplied down to us from last blah 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 blah. So what I'm going to do is, if you have worked with Laravel before, you are going to come, oh sorry, this was me practicing. Let me just get rid of that so that I don't get confused. All right, so if you are quite familiar with Laravel, sorry guys about that. If you are quite familiar with Laravel, you will know that Laravel has a general way of doing pagination. You can go ahead to customize yours, but what it basically does is to pass in a get variable called page, and that get variable does the pagination for us. So we're going to do the same thing here. So what we're going to do here is we're going to pass a parameter here called page, and basically what we're going to say now is we're going to say page. So page is empty. So if page is empty, we're going to use the ternary operator. So if page is empty, what do we do? First off, let's initialize you here. Let's take you right up here, and then we're just going to say if page is empty. So basically, if page is, oh no, we can't really do this properly. Let's just use if else, not to make things too complex here. So now we're going to say if page is an empty string. So if page is an empty string, then let's cut this out of here first. Paste this in here, but much more than that, get rid of all this. So if page is empty, we are going to set our contact data URL to just the normal URL, but else if page is not empty, we are then going to set our contact data URL to this, but we're going to add one last parameter at the end, which is going to help us handle our pagination. So we're going to say let's see, we're going to add here, and we're going to say page will be equal to a value which is basically page, right? All right, so basically what we're saying is if page is empty, then give us a default value. If page is not empty, then give us a value that we can work with and paginate. All right, so now that we have done this, what we are going to do now is we're going to go into our contact actions, and our load contact user will have to take a parameter here, because from our contact service you can see we have page here. So let's pass page here, guys. So we are going to pass page in our load contact user, and that is going to flow down to our load contact service. We're passing page, and that is going to bring us here. So what we are going to do here is really simple. Since we are passing page here, we're going to say the first time our content is loading, we want a parameter here called page to be an empty string, so that it just loads the content without any pagination. But on change, basically once we click that next button to paginate our contact, remember we have access to current page and page size. So I'm going to get rid of page size for now. We're just going to use current page. Current page simply signifies the button that has been clicked. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say this dot props dot load contact user, and we're going to pass the current page, and passing the current page, save that. Now get back to my browser. If I click 2, you can see it loads our second data. 3, does it load? Oh, it doesn't load any data. But it's actually That's because we have failed to pass the parameter here. So let's pass the parameter in the methods that we are dispatching. So page, and here guys we add page. Save that, get down to our browser. Our browser refreshes. We have page 2 and it changes our data. You can see it changes our data. Page 3, it changes our data. Alright, so and the next thing we are going to look into now is for the search. So how do we go about the search? Pretty simple. What we are going to do for our search now is we are going to attach an event handler to our search bar here. And I think we already have that event here on our text field called onChange, but this time around is going to be on key up. So on key up, we are going to say this dot handle change. So on key up will be this dot handle change, and we are going to get rid of this for now. And for this dot handle change, what we are going to do is we are going to simply say e.target.id should map e.target.value. I want to change this to handle key up, not handle change. This doesn't look pretty nice. So let's call this handle key up, guys. And that's handle key up. And we want to change this from handle change to handle key up. And what we are going to do also is we are going to have a state here, and our state is going to have the same ID as our text field. So we're going to have search content here. So our state search content is going to be an empty string for the first instance. And after we've done this setting the state, targeting the ID, and mapping it to this value of our state, we are going to then console.log, right, this dot state. All right, so this is the state, console.log, this is the state. And now we have state is not defined on line 24, and let's check that out. How is state not defined? This dot state, and here we are. Yep. So now let me try type S. You can see that it's capturing the value as we type. So it's getting the value as we type. So what we can pretty much do now is every single time the user types a value, we simply want to send a request. So what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to say for our handle key of events, so we are pretty much just building on what we had before. So this does props.load contact user. All right. So this dot props.load contact user, and we are going to pass page, right? And we are also going to pass another parameter here, and that parameter is going to be our this dot state, right? So this is the state dot search content, so that we successfully have passed both our page and our search content all at the same time. So sorry guys, we are making a mistake here, but what we are actually going to do is, what I wanted to do was not this. So what I was supposed to do was not this. Let's get rid of that now. And then what we want to do is we are going to scroll up, but first of all we're going to go into contact service, and we're going to create a new service here. We're going to create a new service. So let's just copy this and paste that in here, and we're going to call this load search contact. So load search contact will take the page parameter, but the first parameter for load search contact will be the search content, and then the second will be the page. So let's just quickly check the API for our get search paginated data. For our get search paginated data, we have the search data, the token, and then pagination. So we need the search data, the token, and then our paginated data. We just go to our API, and you can see here that this is a get request, and we have search, token, and pagination. So what we can do here is user contact slash, I didn't get the name, contact slash search. So let's call this slash search, and then the next parameter is the token, right? Search slash token, then slash pages, which is pagination parameter. If page is empty, so basically what that means is if the user has not clicked any page to trigger, maybe let's say page 2 or page 3 or something, then we're just going to go this way, pass the search content first before token and pagination. So we're going to pass the search content first here. So this is going to be this way. We're going to have our search content passed here, and pass this again. So we're going to have our search underscore content, our search content before our token and then our pager. Let me just be sure, our search content before our token and then our pager. Okay, so we have user contact search. Why are we having multiple all at once? So search slash search content slash token slash pager. Okay, now that's if there's no, basically the pagination buttons are not clicked after the search. But once you have the pagination buttons clicked after the search, then this gets a bit more complex. So we are going to copy this, and we are going to just get rid of most of what we have here, paste that in here. And so what this is simply saying is, if there is no, if basically the user is searching but he has not clicked on next button to load next contact, once we are sure that the search input is not empty, so what we want to do there is to search underscore content. So if search underscore content, and then we are passing the token to the search content, which is the first one, then we are passing the token, and lastly we are passing the page, which is the number of contents to be displayed per page. So but else, if let's say the person clicked on page 2, then we're going to pass the page as a get variable to this particular URL. Alright, so everything just follows almost the same pattern. http.get data contacts data URL.then, pass the data, and that is just fine. So in our contact service, in our contact actions, I'm also going to copy, but we are going to import something here, and that is going to be load search contacts. So we're going to import load search contacts here. Yep, load search contacts, and I'm going to copy this just to make us faster, and this is going to be load search contacts, and load search contacts, but we don't want this to conflict. So load search contact user, so load search contact user, and this is going to take a couple of parameters as we have seen in our contact service. For load search contact user, load search contact, search content page, and the page itself. So we are going to kind of say copy this and get back into our actions and get rid of this here, paste that. So we have the search content and we have our page. So we're also going to pass that here to search content, and we have the page, and we're going to have load contacts search and fetch contacts. We can just leave it as fetch contacts error. So we are then going to make some changes in our reducer by adding load contacts search. So let me just search for contact reducer, and for contact reducer we are going to add another case here, and that case is going to be load contact user, and for that we are going to just basically copy the same thing here. So we're just logging that to the console, and we are populating the load contacts with whatever was returned during the course of the search. And we have an error here. Why? And that is because of these commas that we have placed here. So let me get rid of these commas. So we have basically done this for our service, and we're going to come here, and it's going to get a little bit tricky here, but you are definitely going to understand it. So what we are going to do here is we are going to say if e dot so if e dot target dot value. So basically, if our search input is empty, do nothing. Else, if our search input is not empty, we want to do something, but first we have to import from those actions. We are going to import. Did we actually import that in contacts action? Yep, we did load search contacts. So we're going to import load search contact user here, and we're going to import that right here, load search contact user, and we are going to add that here as one of our properties, our dispatch methods. So for this, it takes two parameters, and those two parameters are the search content which we are trying to look for and the page. And of course, you know what the page is. The page is basically the page that we are in, page 1, page 2 of our pagination. So search content in our page, and we are going to dispatch load search contact user, and we are then going to pass the same parameter, the search content in our page, and we have successfully imported that here. So now let's use that within this component. So if our either targeted value is empty, every single time there is a key up, we do nothing. But if it's not empty, we're going to say this dot props dot load search contact user, and we are going to pass two parameters. Okay, guys. The first is going to be search content, and the next is going to be the page, but the page would be set. So the page here would be set to an empty value, because every single time we try to perform a search, we basically want to start all over. So what I mean by want to start all over is we want to start re-rendering the content all afresh. All right, so the page would be set to null. So we don't want to start searching and then we have to start, maybe we've paginated and we're moving to page 2. No, the page is going to be as good as new or fresh. And these are problems that load contact user takes the search content and the page. So in our on change here, what we are going to do is we're going to say if this dot state, so basically our state that stores our search content. So if the value is an empty string and we clicked on pagination, so please give us this value, just normal pagination, nothing else, just normal pagination. But else if it's not empty, so if our search content has a value, we want you to give us the pagination of what? Of our load contact user. So it takes our search content and it takes our page. So now if I save this, pretty sure everything is good, cool and nice. So we head down to our browser. You know, search content is not defined, search content is not defined, page is not defined. And these errors are coming from where? Line 42, 50, and 52 of view contact. So let's just get there now. Line 42 here, it says what? It says search content is not defined. And search content is not defined because we are not supposed to call search content here, but this state.search content. And same goes to this too. This state.search content. And before I save that, let me get back to our browser and see page is not defined on line 50. And we also have here the page is not defined. That is because we're supposed to pass current page and not page. So current page, which serves as page. So I'm going to save that now and get back to our browser. Sorry. Get back to our browser. Yep. And everything looks cool. If I click on page 2, it loads page 2 content for us. Now let me start searching, and we are having an error here that says cannot read property data of undefined, and this error is coming from here. It's saying message unauthenticated. So we can quickly debug that API here by commenting you. So let's comment you out, and let's uncomment you, so you can return some HTML if you care to. So let's refresh that again, and now let me type B, and we have an error here that says a 404 error, meaning that URL does not exist. So how many times do I ever have to make that error? So let's check out why that is saying a 404 error. We know here that we have user/contact, right, /search /search_content/token/pager. So what we can do for ourselves is to get down here, and it's user/contact. So let me copy this like to the end, and just move back here and paste that in here, and let me add user to the front here, and I'm also going to do the same too for here, user. So guys, let's scroll down and check out what the problem may be. So we have user/contact, right, /search. The next parameter is search_content. The next parameter is the token. And the last is pager, and including the optional, which is the pagination. So why are we getting the 404 error? And that is okay. I think I know exactly where the problem is coming from, because if you type the first key, you can see it throws an error, 404 error. But if you type the second key, type the third key, you can see it keeps narrowing our contents down for us. You can see the pagination is working perfectly. When we do our search, the pagination is working. All contents would be are being paged perfectly. And if I clear that, so why exactly is this happening? This is happening asynchronously, and that is why it's kind of like as if we are missing out on the first time an input is being hit. So to get what I am saying clearly, let me do a console.log here of this state. The first time a key up is done. So let me just inspect this, not view page, so sorry, I meant inspect. So it seems like we are just missing the first time. So go to console, and you can see that search content is still empty even though we just entered the value. So how do we fix that? Basically, how we can fix this is by using JavaScript async and await. So it kind of helps us to manage asynchronous events or asynchronous actions. And we're going to do this for the set state. So we're going to set an await here. So basically that is going to help us capture the value the first time the input is entered. And let's head back there and search for v, and we get an error. So e.target.value. So let's change this from e.target.value to this.state.search content. Save that, head back to our browser. Sorry guys. Head back to our browser, refresh, and our pagination works fine. And now let's just type B, and it works fine too. You can see that. Let me refresh that again. Type B. The first time I type B, it gets the content for us. Type ERIAW, and you can see it just returns only one content. So guys, that is just about that for search with pagination. In the next video, we're going to be looking at editing and maybe editing or deleting of contacts. I think editing of contacts. So before I end this video, I just want to say one more thing here, and it's about my YouTube channel. If you've not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, like my videos, and I really appreciate them. It motivates me to shoot more and more videos.